Evening, everybody. Silverbolt's here. I'm home. I've been home probably about 2.5 hours now. During that time, I've managed to have 3 cups of coffee. I've managed to have a bath, and I'm just pretty much going ugh, at this stage. As most of us are. It was quite amusing at the breakfast table this morning, but I'll get to that in a bit. London meet, absolutely fantastic fun. It was brilliant. Admittedly, mine and Adam's didn't start out well. We left the house at 6 a.m. We got to the train station at 6:30. Thought we were going to have to take a train that was going to take us directly from Birmingham to London, and then found out that there was doing maintenance on the line or something like that, and we had to catch 3 separate trains. So we had to go from Birmingham to Banbury, which, by the way, stinks. It smells of rotten, wet clothes. It's disgusting. So I'm going to be having words with Leo the next time I see him about why does your hometown smell so much. But there we go. We then went from Banbury to Oxford, and then from Oxford to London Paddington, where again we had a little bit of trouble because Adam was like, hang on, have I come here before? And I'm like looking at him like, dude, if you don't know where we are, we're boned. Seriously, because I have no clue. But yes, we've eventually managed to find our way there, and that's where I'm going to start singing the first praises of London, is your public transport system. It is fantastic. Birmingham seriously needs to wake up, because ours is crap. Seeing as we're coming home in a taxi, which ended up, because of the journey, costing me the price it cost me at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night, because the Southern Conservatives are in town. Mr. I wear more makeup than Jodie Marsh. Not that I don't like David Cameron or anything. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. Seems a Tory. But there we go. Their public transport system is absolutely amazing. There's buses running at night at the same frequency they run during the day. The tube system, brilliant. So quick. Effortless. Absolutely brilliant. And then when we eventually got there, me and Adam, in grand tradition of me getting to a pub, I was the first. Well, we were the first ones there, and we managed to be able to scoff down a breakfast. And it wasn't pleasant. It wouldn't have been pleasant watching me and Adam eat, because we were both absolutely starving. So it would have been like 2 wolves at a carcass. So we managed to eat before everyone got there, and then people started showing up, and initial merriments, and much man love was handed out, and hugs and slaps and good to see us and everything else, and then 11:30 came round, and I'm like, I want a beer, but no one else is drinking. Then I saw Billy, and I turned around to Billy and said, "Are you having a drink?" He just looks at me and goes, "I am now." So we started, and it started to set the trend off, because everyone else started copying us then, but that's just natural. Then went around the shop, so I suppose I should show my haul, seeing as other people are. I didn't get anything Transformers related, funnily enough. I was looking at the Power Core combiners. I'm still tempted by a Huffer and Caliburst, but just no. It's like, nah, I don't really want them. So I ended up buying R.A. Salvatore's The Orc King, which is the first part of the Transitions trilogy, and it's the latest instalment in the saga of Dristoerden. And then I also bought Canticle, which is the first book in the Clerics Quartet, which is apparently, despite the fact it was written quite a while ago, a prequel to The Ghost King, which is the 3rd part in the Transitions trilogy. So there we go. I honestly don't know, but I'm starting on the Orc King, and it's going all right. I want to give a big shout out to Simon Williams, who provided us with an excellent piece of artwork for the meet, so thank you so much for that one, mate. That is fantastic. As I said to you, I'm going to be framing it when I can. I will admit I had a little bit of a fangasm in Forbidden Planet, because I saw the scale replica. It's in Jamie's video if you want to watch it, of the Alien Pulse Rifle. And if I had the money, I would have bought it, and then I probably would have been buried in it with it by Philly for spending 1,200 quid on a toy.
She wouldn't bury it with you.
Oh no, she wouldn't bury it with me. She'd probably sell it to pay for the funeral. I'm so lucky that I'm loved, aren't I?
Love you.
Yeah, right. Lovely town. Anyway, um, yes. So I didn't quite get that, and then we were in Orbital Comics before Forbidden Planet, and Orbital Comics, lovely, lovely store, lovely, lovely store. Expensive store, I have to say, but then I've never been to London, so I don't know if that's the kind of prices you'd pay in London for stuff like that. But needless to say, there wasn't anything there that really, really took my eye. Even though seeing Izza in the cosplay book was just funny because she was mortified. There we go. And then obviously, you know what? It was back to the pub. You know what? And some people will be going, you know what? What's the point of just meeting up, going all the way to London just to spend the whole time in a pub? Well, we do actually have a valid reason for it this time that goes beyond, well, it's fun. Is that the weather was so inclement. I mean, it absolutely bucketed it down the entire time. From when we got to Weatherspoons, after going to the shops, to when we were leaving at 1 o'clock in the morning, and this is the last group of survivors, as I've dubbed the picture because it's great, of survivors leaving the pub at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was still raining, and it was only then starting to let up a little bit. So pretty much we were confined to Weatherspoons, and I have to say, you've been in one Weatherspoons, you've been in them all, despite the fact that Shakespeare's Head is huge. Oh, it's bigger than the Square Peg in Birmingham, easily. But yeah, you've been in one, you've been in them all, and there were times I was thinking, are we in Birmingham? Not literally, obviously, thinking, are we in Birmingham? I wasn't that drunk. Actually, no, I wasn't actually drunk at all. I was halfway there, but I'd eaten a lot of sugar as well, so I was like hyper. As it'll probably come across in a lot of people's videos, because I was shouting. But that's usually the first stage of me getting well and truly off my face. I start shouting. Then I start shouting and go Irish. And then I just go, I want to go to bed now. There we go. Of course, you know what, then came the evening and people started leaving. Grimmy left, Jamie left, Paul left. Everyone started leaving. And like, oh no! And at the start, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're spread out over like 4 tables. By the end of it, we're all round one table, and then come like 12 o'clock, come midnight, there is only the hardcore left amongst us, who've got nowhere better to go. There was Mark, Adam, Izza, Phil, me, Billy and Dave, Mr. Wallace. And Mr. Wallace, for some strange reason, despite the fact that he didn't drink at all on the Saturday night, looks the drunkest out of everybody, and he's the only one that had a hangover the next morning. I don't know how we figured that one, but apparently he did, so there we go. Oh, and of course there was, Jamie. No, Jamie was drunk. Jamie was very drunk. At one point, me and Billy were actually taking great delight in just laughing at the silly little faces he was pulling at the table, because he just sat there going... It was actually quite amusing. Yeah, it was actually. It was very amusing. And then we had the Sunday morning, and the Sunday morning it was back to the pub. I want to say a big thank you to Izza for putting me up, and to her parents for putting us up and letting us sleep the night at her house. I say sleep, it was more a case of, conk out for like 3 hours before we got to take Phil to the bloody airport. Well, to the train station so he can get to the airport. And that was good. And then it was back to the Weatherspoons. We didn't leave the Weatherspoons. And we all had big breakfasts. I think, yeah, every single one of us. It was just a table full of dead pig. It was great. Apart from me, like porridge. And then after that, everyone was just sat there like running out of money. Can't move now. And then it was home to Birmingham, and it's like, well, that's it. It's all over. There we go. So on a final note, I want to say a big thank you to Repellent Found Dead, Adam, Adatum, Adam, Disaronno, Izza, and who's the other guy? Oh, he likes a lot of attention on himself from going while singing Jamie's videos, but I can't remember his name. Who is that other guy? Oh yeah, Time Lord. Matt, you did an absolutely stellar job in organising it, mate. I sympathise with everything you've gone through and everything you're going through, having done it for the Birmingham Mead last year, despite the fact that apparently my idea of just going to the pub is not enough. I can't think why. But there we go. But yeah, Matt, sterling job, mate. Sterling job. Outdid yourself this year, and we'll have to see where you're going to take us next time. Assuming you are, of course, going to be organising the next one. But yes, the four of you guys did an absolutely fantastic job. And then a shout out to all the people who came. You know what? You can say that Transformers geeks are sad, but we had an absolute howl. It was brilliant. You guys are absolutely fantastic, every single one of you. Mind you, saying that, nearly everybody. There are a few exceptions, I will admit. Nearly everybody that I've met at the things like Order Assembly have been absolutely top notch. So, but yeah, the guys that came to the London meet, fantastic. Hopefully, going to be seeing you all very shortly for the next one. And at the very least, I want to see you all at AA. So, top notch, guys, top notch. But yes, that's it. That's really all I can think of. I'm going to say for that one now. So I'm just going to sign off and say adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.